Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women. Wardrobe provided by Bahari Bahamas. Visit shopbahari.com. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I am your host, Michelle Malcolm. As always, it's a pleasure to be in your company, and I do humbly apologize for the late start today. Sometimes things happen, and it throws you off, and today was one of those days, so I really seriously apologize for this late start. Today is Friday, so you know what that means. It's a TGIF open line show today, and it's all going to be about what you want to talk about, what is on your mind. We're going to give you an opportunity to get it off of your chest, and let's talk about the week that was. I obviously pulled a couple of clips from the news over the past week, but obviously it doesn't just, it's not just about what I want to talk about, but what you want to talk about as well. We saw that very clearly last week, Friday, when I had all these clips pulled and y'all wasn't on my run. Y'all decided y'all wanted to talk about something else. So it's all about what you want to talk about. But of course, I have to be prepared. And so I did prepare a couple of clips. Now, in my estimation, the biggest story of the week was the appeals court ruling as it relates to the rights of citizenship to children born to Bahamian fathers and foreign mothers. That was the big news as far as I can tell this week. And obviously we need to talk about that. And what are your views on that? I want to start with the clip from the news after it was announced that the court ruling would allow children born to unwed Bahamian fathers and foreign mothers to be granted Bahamian citizenship. And obviously that didn't sit well with our Attorney General, Carl Bethel. He lost another case. He revealed in the Senate that people were already, since the ruling, attempting to register to vote. And he says these people aren't legally entitled to do so. And so this caused a big back and forth between he and Fred Mitchell in the Senate. But before we go to the back and forth, I want to play the clip that talked about the ruling itself. You have two clips, Delton, that deal with the ruling, one about the back and forth in the Senate and the other one about the actual ruling. And so we want to say thanks to Eyewitness News for allowing us use of their news reports. Here is that report now that is talking specifically about the ruling prior to the back and forth in the Senate between Bethel and Fred Mitchell. So the tagline would be Court of Appeal Citizens Ruling, Delta. Okay, let's roll that clip.
It is a matter for the highest court in the land at this point.
Attorney General Senator Carl Bethel says the government will file a notice of appeal to the Privy Council over Monday's major Court of Appeal ruling that upheld a 2020 decision handed down by Supreme Court Justice Ian Winder. He ruled that every person in the Bahamas shall become a citizen at their date of birth if either parent, regardless of their marital status, is a citizen of the Bahamas. Appealing the decision, Senator Bethel says, was inevitable, as he says the rights over who can be a Bahamian is a fundamental and controversial matter.
It's a simple question, really. Which is to prevail? The acknowledged original intent of the founders of the Constitution, or whether contemporary concepts and norms ought to prevail over the original intent. This is a matter that can only be finally and comprehensively addressed by the highest court in the land, the Privy Council.
The government had sought to appeal the ruling by Justice Winder over the true interpretation of Article 6 of the Constitution, which states every person born in the Bahamas after July 9, 1973 shall become a citizen at the date of his birth if at that date either of his parents is a citizen of the Bahamas. However, the Attorney General resisted the applications on the basis that since the respondents' fathers were unwed at the date of their birth, they were excluded from automatic Bahamian citizenship by virtue of Article 14, Paragraph 1, which notes that any reference in the chapter to the father of a person shall, in relation to any person born out of wedlock other than a person legitimated before July 10, 1973, be construed as a reference to the mother of that person. Despite this most recent ruling being a great departure from a former ruling handed down by former Chief Justice Sir Burton Hall, Minister of Immigration Ellsworth Johnson says they will respect the law.
The only policy that the government could have is one that is in accordance with the law. And if, as I said before, taking the advice of the former Chief Justice, a decision is made by the court, whether it be the Magistrate, Supreme Court of Appeal, you go to the Privy Council.
When the dust settles and the Privy Council reaches a verdict, Senator Bethel says he doesn't foresee further action being taken, no matter what the outcome may be.
That will be the law of the land, as interpreted by the highest court in the land, and we will all be bound to follow it. And so whatever adjustments would have to be made to domestic law would have to be made in order to accommodate the views, if that is their view. If not, there would be no changes.
All right. So I'd love to hear from you as to what your thoughts are on this. I have a comment here from Kenley. Kenley says, I had the shock of my life when I learned that I could not pass down citizenship to my child unless I was married or if the mother was a Bahamian, This is such, this is such a tangled web that really needs to be untangled. Because, on the one hand, if, this is your child, obviously proven to be your child, because obviously I don't think it'd be just anybody jumping up and saying, my daddy's a Bahamian. You got to be able to provide proof. And obviously when the Constitution was written, there were no DNA tests available back then. So the approach that was taken by the formers of the Constitution was, well, we know the child come from the mother, so that's the mother child for sure. But we can't prove, we don't know for sure that it's the father's child. But that was their reality back then. We have another reality now where a simple swab of the cheek inside your mouth, and you could prove who is your father and who is not. And so the question is it right that persons who are born to Bahamian fathers should automatically be able to receive citizenship with proof that that is indeed their father? Because we don't live in the same reality that they lived when they formed the Constitution. Caller, what are your thoughts? Welcome to GPS.
Morning, Michelle. How you doing, my friend?
Great. How are you?
I'm blessed, thank God for life.
Good.
I'll touch on that matter briefly, but there's another one I called to speak to you about today.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, Michelle, one of the things we should have, the framers should have dealt with, and we now need still to be dealt with in this country, is that no one who comes to the Bahamas illegally should be given any consideration of Bahamian citizenship or permanent residency status once they come here legally.
But that's not what this question is
No,
about, though.
I'm leading to a point, though. I'm leading to a point.
Okay.
I'm leading to a point.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, whether the father or mother is married, to me, is irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
If one is a citizen, one is a citizen.
Right.
Okay? And once a Bahamian, male or female, is valid, justifiably deemed, seen, understood to be a citizen of this country,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I started off with the point I started off with.
Mm-hmm.
Once there's valid reason, valid cause to be a citizen, it shouldn't matter to me, in my opinion, whether that man or woman is married.
Right.
If you see, I mean, so if I mean, I have a daughter. I have one child, a
Mm-hmm.
daughter. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
my daughter was born out of wedlock. It wasn't planned that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but it turned out that way. Now, her mother is Bahamian, but God forbid if her mother was not Bahamian, my daughter would have been in trouble today.
Right.
Okay, but to avoid those types of situations that are obviously all too prevalent, we should simply base every sovereign decision and every national decision based on the citizenry of a person, not whether or not they're married.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I hate about the way these lawyers write these laws are so confusing and so perplexing, because when you play that clip, I heard the first part as to what the ruling what Carl Bethel said was the first point, and then when he came back with the supporting point was so confusing.
Mm.
I'm sure many Bahamians feel the same way, that we don't know which way this thing is going, coming or going.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say, Michelle, as long as somebody is not illegal, once they come into this country and they go through the right process now of wanting to adopt the Bahamas as their home, if they're not born here, but whether or not they are married, he or she ought automatically, by the virtue of the Constitution, be deemed a citizen of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Do it legally, do it properly, do it wisely, do it efficiently and effectively, but do it.
Nobody's disagreeing with that point, but this whole situation really is not a question of that. The question
I'm confused.
the thing is, your mother could come here illegally, right?
Yeah.
And sleep with a Bahamian man.
Right.
And get pregnant.
Right.
So, whether or not your mother came here illegally really doesn't matter in this situation, right, as long as your father is proven to be a Bahamian.
The father is Bahamian,
yeah.
He's legally Bahamian, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So
see, from that, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So from that point of view, Michelle, then my argument still is supported by what you just said, because to me, if the father is Bahamian,
mm-hmm,
or the mother is Bahamian, but the other parent is not Bahamian, or they're not legal,
right?
To me, the default consideration should be on the side of the citizen,
mm-hmm,
because that person is a citizen.
Mm-hmm.
The citizen should therefore have the opportunity to pass his heritage on to his children.
Right.
So, see, this is why, when it comes to marriages in particular, but when it comes to anybody coming into this country, if they are here illegally, they ought not to be considered for citizenship.
Right.
But the child, once a child is born, and the child is born to a parent who is a bona fide, legitimate Bahamian citizen,
mm-hmm,
that person then ought to, in my humble opinion, that child ought to be considered to be a Bahamian citizen, because one of their parent is a valid citizen.
mm-hmm. Okay, that's what the court ruled. Yes.
Yeah, but according to what Carl Bethel was saying, it don't seem to be that way.
Well,
that's why I'm
think
confused.
He's arguing technicality. He's arguing technicality because, like I said earlier, the beginning, when the Constitution was written by the formers of our Constitution, there was no such thing as DNA back then. DNA testing and all this kind of stuff. So unless the child come out looking exactly like the pa, there was no way to prove that was the child's father.
And
because you just couldn't prove it.
And on that point, Michelle,
so it's a different world that we live in today
Yeah,
than the world that existed when they
Indeed.
framed the Constitution. So the question now is, and the court decided, okay, this is the world we live in today. And if you can prove, obviously very easily now with DNA testing, that you are indeed the father of this child, then
Right.
then you should be able, that child should be able to receive citizenship by way of you being a citizen of the Bahamas.
right.
So what
exactly.
Carl was arguing was a technical point.
Which I didn't understand because it was so confusing.
Yeah.
It was so confusing. Honestly, it was confusing. I understand why he's losing a lot of cases in the court.
But here's the thing, though. Here's what I think why some people have a problem with this ruling. I've heard of a story. I don't know if it's still going on, but at one point Cuba was a hotspot for Bahamian men.
Right, yes.
Right?
I heard about that too.
Let's face it, some extremely beautiful women in Cuba, and they are extremely desperate.
So I've heard that, but I've never been there. I
So
haven't-
when you have that combination of beautiful and desperate,
Yeah. Trouble.
easy
trouble,
prey
trouble.
for
Yeah.
a man,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Bahamian men used to love to go to Cuba for that reason,
Yep.
because they know they can get one fine gal easy.
Yeah.
Over here,
yeah.
you got to wait for that. Over
Right,
there,
right.
they just so desperate to get out, right?
Yeah.
So let's say a Bahamian man goes to Cuba, and he fathers a bunch of children in Cuba.
hmm
His wife ain't know nothing about it, of course.
Oh wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So now this rule is passed. These children been suffering in Cuba. Now they hear, oh my God, I could get my daddy citizenship now. All I got to do
Yeah.
is prove that he is a citizen, that he's my
First of all-
father. So
right,
now
right,
they fly
exactly.
from Cuba, they fly from Havana, they come over here with all their things and everything, and they
Yeah.
take their DNA test, and boom, bring it and bram, this man is their
That's my
daddy.
daddy.
Now,
Yes.
that raises some other questions. Do they now have legal rights as it relates to everything that man owns as his children within the marriage are entitled to?
Well, according to the Inheritance Act, I think that's the right title of it that was passed in 2001.
Right.
From then until now, they do.
Okay.
But before then, they didn't.
So now you understand why plenty of people got a problem with this.
And Michelle, I can understand.
And
honestly
I'm
why
not saying
people
it's
have a-
right that they should have a problem with it, because let's face it, the child ain't asked to come here. The child ain't
Right.
asked the father to go over to Cuba and spread his wings and
Yes,
sow his seed
yes,
all over the
plant
place.
his seeds all- right,
Right. The child ain't asked for that.
right.
But it opens up so many other questions.
It goes to show how unfaithful a lot of Bahamian men have been, eh? And women, of course, but we're talking about the father, from the father's
Child, plenty of things could come out now.
Yes, there's so much unfaith. You remember the song, Woe is me, shame and
Your daddy
scandal,
and your daddy, but your daddy don't know. Yeah.
Now, let me tell you the other reason I call it, because this one song, this can be a hard one today.
Mhm.
So, Michelle, I heard a comment by the Speaker of the House of Assembly. I think it was on the first day when the budget debate started. I started to be corrected on the date, but I heard him say something that bothers me when he said it, when other people say it, and that is that the lack of money is the root of all evil. Now, I heard him clearly say that. I've even heard I've heard some people in the church say even money is the root of all evil. Michelle, both of those statements,
The
according to
Bible
God's
says
word,
the love of
love
money.
is
is
so
the root of
both
all
of
evil.
those statements are a lie. You know how many Bahamians today don't have money? I happen to be one of them. But I've never lied, or rather stolen to get it. I've never raped to get it. I've never done anything illegal or improper to get it. It's an insult to me to hear the Speaker of the House of Assembly of this country make such a statement in error. The lack of money is not the root of all evil. Money is not the root of all evil. I call on our Speaker to honestly correct that statement.
Well, he ought to know better, because he's a man. in
He
the
should have
church.
known better to have said that.
Yeah, he come up in the church. He know better than that.
And
It
God,
was probably
see,
just a mistake.
But Michelle, you see, a lot of people are, in my opinion, so prepared, not so uncomfortable with referring or speaking clearly about God's word, that they tend to make, in some instances, I dare say, honest mistakes, but mistakes nonetheless. I mean, when God says the love of money, meaning that when one is willing to do whatever they want, they feel they have to do to get money, they will do whatever, no matter who it hurts, no matter how wrong it is. That's what the Bible means by the love of money.
Right.
And so many innocent people are in this country hurting today and have never once done anything wrong. They don't have money, but they've never done anything wrong to get money.
Mm-hmm.
And it's from that point of view that statement bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I ever had the opportunity to say these things to him, I would say to the speaker, please correct that. Because that's an insult, honestly, to so many people in this country who are hard-working, honest people who don't have money and never stole to get it just because they don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my key point of concern, because it really bothered me, and I just wanted to get that one off of my chest today.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you so much for calling.
You're welcome.
All right. I'm also going to, I want to play that clip now, Delton, with the war of words between the Attorney General and Fred Mitchell in the Senate over this ruling. And because one of the things that Carl Bethel said is that people are already now coming forward saying that they have a right to vote because of this ruling. So let's go ahead and play that clip, and then we can talk about it on the other side.
Attorney General Carl Bethel revealing this morning that people are turning up to the Parliamentary Registration Department, insisting they have the right to register to vote, following a landmark citizenship ruling earlier this week. On Monday, the Court of Appeal affirmed that children born out of wedlock to foreign women and Bahamian men are entitled to citizenship at birth. Now, during his contribution in the Senate this morning, Bethel urged those who have been impacted by the ruling to be patient and let the process play out.
Let us await the full determination of the highest court in the land to which the matter is now being referred, and we will see what the final statement as to what Bahamian constitutional law is on this matter will be when the Privy Council issues its ruling.
Bethel also advised all arms of the government that the law affecting citizenship for persons born out of wedlock to a Bahamian man has not changed.
If the Privy Council were to rule in favor of the applicants, being the government of the Bahamas, there would be no change to the law. If they were to rule otherwise, at that point, there would have to be changes in domestic law. Those changes have not yet been made. And so please, I advise all government agencies to obey the Bahamian law.
However, Senator Fred Mitchell questioned the AG on whether or not that is actually the case.
The law changes because the Court of Appeal binds every other court.
But how do you prove that someone is a parent? Through DNA, if they are male, it is through the DNA test.
Absolutely.
And under the Status of Children's Act, that cannot be used for the purposes of citizenship at this time.
But with respect, the Status of Children's Act would not apply because as soon as the court pronounces, unless there's a stay, it changes automatically. So
as I said, that the Attorney General's office
down to the passport offices, give me my passport. Until you get a stay, he's a Bahamian citizen.
We are applying for a stay.
So I'm saying you need to do that with alacrity because the person can stand on the law right now and say, Court of Appeal has ruled, I'm a citizen, it changes automatically, and, all you need is the fella from Grand Bahama to rush up the road and say, you're a citizen.
Mitchell insisted that the law remains until the government applies for a stay.
The law has changed, and the person can go to the passport office and get his passport. So you need to get a stay. You have to get a stay. Great. I just want to make that clear, though. That's all.
Make it clear that we're well aware that we need to apply for a stay. Right. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, Father in heaven, help us today. This could be long. Wow. Bahamas is changing, y'all. The Bahamas is changing. Now, I hear Carl Bethel's point about, just be patient and wait for the highest court of the land to rule on this matter. And I could hear these young people who've been all their life now feeling ostracized and feeling like they ain't got, like saying, really, Carl? Really? Like, really? You really think I could be patient with you? I've been waiting all my life for this ruling to happen, and now you talk about let's just be patient and wait for this. Oh man, like Darrell Miller would say, we are in a conundrum. This is a serious thing. So, depending on who's right in that argument just now, these people do have a right to go and get their passport and get their voter's card now before any final ruling. This is a serious thing. Welcome to the show, caller.
How you doing, Michelle? Good morning.
Great. How are you?
Yes, super. Let me just get right to the point.
Mm-hmm.
All of the foreigners in this country who was born here and were foreigners until this ruling, if you can prove that a Bahamian man is your father, Amos Jr. Miller is saying to you right here on GPS, Global Paradigm Shift, act on the law and go and get your citizenship. Point number one. Point number two, as relates to Article 7, to any person born, male or female, born in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, to foreign parents, and I don't care where you're from, if you were born here and you can show proof that you were born here, go and get your passport. I told the Bahamian people for more than 11 years, if we do not like the law, we must change it. They played politics until they stack the deck or decks now, okay, on top of the original order. They know exactly. I thank God my father, I'm a bastard child, but I'm one of those bastard child who had a decent Bahamian father and still have a decent Bahamian father, live in America, but I have a glorious Bahamian mother. And even though they were not married and according to Christian principles, out of order. If you start out of order and it does not fit from the root, what you think gonna happen at the end? Anyway, all I'm saying, go and get your Bahamian everything. Now, Michelle, I can leave you in a couple seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Let me explain something to the Bahamian people. Because we have played politics with this and religious, not spiritual now. We played religion and politics with it. This is the spiritual part of what should have been done a long time. This is the facts. The Constitution is clear how Amos Jr. Miller, a real Bahamian, who would call himself a real Bahamian as relates to a mother and father who was nationalized under the British Nationality Act 1948. That's as relates to how I could claim ownership of everything and anything that the law nationally and internationally says is Bahamian. Now, so these people, politicians and religious people who have played politics with our lives, who are now and doctors and accountants, and at one time ago it was racist people, and that evolved, okay, where you didn't want to pay the majority of the poor black people, all right? So you started stacking the deck with other people. Now they're here, and what you think they're gonna do? They ain't sellable. Okay, the male who you are allowed to come in, they get the H word too, and I mean hallelujah or holy. Okay, now at the end of the day, if the people being born, who you think, and they having children for Bahamians, that means these people are our brothers and our sisters. We are playing politics and religion with. Like it is so. My brothers and my sisters are somewhere, okay, out there. Because y'all won't play politics and religion now, and it gets so bad. Now that the truth about Amos Jr. Miller, and man, take my life, because after that, that's all you could take. I fear Yahweh Elohim S-U-N, sun. For the rising of the sun to the going down of the same, him alone do I fear. You hear me? Y'all have a good day.
Boy, at least Amos consistent. He consistent. When you hear Amos on the line, you know what you can get. Ah, boy. Veronica says, is DNA going to be requested? Because anyone can say Blow Joe is their daddy. Well, I would hope so, Veronica. I would think so. I can't see them just making this happen without you having some proof that your daddy is your daddy. What a time in the Bahamas. We're going to take a quick break, y'all. When we come back, we're going to continue to talk about the week that was on this TGIF Open Line show. Stay with us.
Glory 93.9 FM, the people's favorite gospel station.
Best dress, hats off, looking like I walked out of catalog. Everybody wanna know where I got it from. Catwalk, 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 boutique, where we make fashion statements. Catwalk, boutique, where we make fashion statements.
For the latest styles in women's clothing and accessories, visit Catwalk Boutique on Robinson Road East at the Helron Plaza. At Catwalk Boutique, we make fashion statements.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all: schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
At Lee Air, safety is our number one priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Alive. Alive. Believe in best. And by Tropical Gyros. Not just good food, it's an experience. And welcome back to TGIF Open Line Show on GPS today on Glory 93.9 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm, and every Friday, as you know by now, we talk about the week that was and talk about the things that are important to you or things that caught your notice during the week. And so another story that I thought was interesting was that several political parties have come out to say that they are taking issue with the approach of the competent authority to try to convince people to be vaccinated. And they are saying that they do not agree with what seems to be the trend now of giving perks to people who are vaccinated at the expense of those who are not. And so, there's not too many things that you find political parties agreeing on in this country nowadays, but this seems to be one of them. Let's go to that clip, Delton.
Progressive Liberal Party Chairman Fred Mitchell insists that if government wants to reach herd immunity, perks for only the fully vaccinated is not the way, but instead ramping up its education campaign among the masses.
What has been done is the Prime Minister has gotten up on his soapbox in the House of Assembly and used the political bully pulpit to tell people they should go and get vaccinated. Well, the first thing is every PLP will say to himself, or every coalition member, or every DNA will say, well, I'm not an F&M, so I'm not listening to what the Prime Minister says. So this has to be something which is driven by neutral public servants and driven by the public health officials.
And Coalition of Independents leader Lincoln Bain in some ways agrees. He suggests these perks set a bad example for the private sector, who he claims already engages in economic duress.
We now see companies that are forcing their employees to take the vaccine or get weekly tests at a cost. We should allow the vaccine to be available to those who want to take it. They should invest in whatever it takes to set up centers like other countries are doing to have testing that is free.
The Democratic National Alliance believes that in some ways economics is beginning to trump safe public health measures, particularly the new allowances for events.
Minister of National Security says that the police force and the defense force will plan to be able to properly monitor this. However, we know that this is the same group of people who have been working tirelessly since the start of this pandemic. The numbers have not changed, and we know that they're fatigued. And now you're adding not just opening up the country to however many number of guests, but now also to people who are now experiencing COVID fatigue and really truly want to be able to move on with their lives.
Now, most of these perks for vaccinated individuals are set to begin on July 1st, and government's goal is to reach herd immunity by the end of August. But according to these political leaders, if government continues in this manner, that may not be possible.
What might help them is that some people are having difficulties with the AstraZeneca vaccine. Maybe if they brought the other one, I think they said they were going to bring in the Pfizer, so maybe if they got that, some people would change their minds. And they also probably ought to do some more tracking because many Bahamians have just been going to the States and getting the other vaccines.
Concerned about herd immunity, but the fact of the matter is this is a virus that's mutating as we speak. We went from the Alpha strain, we're now on to the Delta strain.
I doubt it would be before 2022. There are a lot of concerns, whether legitimate or otherwise, ranging from safety of the vaccine to full-blown conspiracy theories. But these are things that are actually preventing people from getting it.
Okay, so let me just say that your decision as to whether or not you want to take the vaccine should really have nothing to do with politics, people. You can't make everything about politics. So if your only reason if you've decided not to get it, the only reason you're not getting it is because it's being promoted by the competent authority that you perceive as the F&M, that's a foolish reason. Now, I'm not saying you should go get it. All I'm saying is that you should do your research and try to find out as much information as you can about the possible risks associated with getting it. We know the risk associated of not getting it, and weigh the two as to whether or not you want to take those risks. And I have been trying very hard to, in my small way, bring you information that's not being offered by the authorities. And I take grave exception to the fact that they are, for the most part, trying to keep us in the dark. And again, this is not just about what is happening here in the Bahamas, but we see this happening all over the world, where doctors and scientists' voices are being stifled, and true science as to the long-term effects or possible long-term effects of receiving the vaccines is being ignored. And alternative methods of treatment are definitely being stifled and ignored, as opposed to just the push towards receiving a vaccine, which to me is questionable. Because if you have other methods that are proven to be effective, but yet you're trying to shut them down, and then we see all of this censorship going on where doctors and scientists who are bringing just pure scientific fact are being shut down, censored like I've never seen before. So I just want to encourage all of you, and I'd love to hear from you on this, to do your research. Like I said, I'm doing my part to try to get the information out there, but don't just sit back and take anything just because I said it or the competent authority says it or anybody else. Go and do your research. The information is right there to be found. You just have to be willing to look. That being said, I do believe that it is, unfortunately, unfair that they have taken the position that they have taken, that we're not gonna say it's mandatory for you to take this vaccine, but we're gonna make your life a living hell if you don't. And quite frankly, I do believe that the time will come when they are going to say it's mandatory. I think it's just a matter of time. But I would love to hear from you on this. What are your thoughts as to whether or not you believe that it is fair that people who decide to take the vaccine should be getting special treatment, should be getting privileges that those who choose not to take it are not entitled to get? What are your thoughts on this? I'd love to hear from you. Our telephone line to call is 828-3543. 828-3543 is the number to call. And the text line is 828-2543. 828-2543 is the text line. Do you think that it is only right that people who take the vaccine should be receiving perks, whereas those who choose not to take the vaccine should be ostracized? What are your thoughts on that? Tracy says, that's just it. Research is subjective. How could you be encouraged to do your own research and then be told to ignore everything you read and see, but only listen to what the competent authority tells you? It amounts to hypocrisy. All right, we have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
How you doing this morning, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
I guess I'll make it. But your question was, do you believe that those who are vaccinated
should receive special perks? Yeah.
Well, the thing is, we live in a world today in which there are those who are of a different cloth than those who call themselves righteous.
Mm-hmm.
And they are in the position where they are now pushing the limit on everything that is unrighteous and calling it righteous.
Mm.
So on almost every commercial that you see on TV today, you see alternate lifestyle couples making it seem as if it's natural. So I do not think it's right, especially when the vaccine does not necessarily protect you from the disease or the virus that they say you're taking it as protection against. So, no, the answer to your question is no, but then I think it's blatant evidence of where we are going in this world today and the time that we are living in.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Michelle. Have a blessed day.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. I saw somebody else was trying to call while you were on. I'd like to encourage you to call back. Okay. I'm not able to take two calls at the same time. So I see where Graham just sent me a link. It says FDA to add warning about rare heart inflammation to Pfizer, Moderna vaccines. Yeah, so now it's being seen that young men especially who take those mRNA vaccines are now having problems with heart inflammation. And if you would have watched my show the past 2 Wednesdays with Dr. Richard Fleming, he talks about how the approach to treating COVID has been completely wrong, because instead of it being seen as a respiratory disease, they should have treated it as an inflammatory disease, because it's, the spike proteins are causing inflammation throughout the body. So it's no surprise that this inflammation is now occurring in the heart. I've seen some other information come across my desk that I have to yet verify. So I'm very wary to put it out there. And I'm trying. I came across a video of a gentleman talking about the spike proteins leading to the deaths of babies that were breastfed by mothers who were vaccinated. I have to yet confirm if that is true or not. And also, one of the things that he said in that video, and I'm trying to get, I reached out to Dr. Malone to see if he could verify it for me scientifically, because the gentleman in the video was talking about how, well, we know that spike protein is being shed by those who have been vaccinated with the mRNA vaccines. So there is a concern now that they're shedding not just the virus, but spike protein as well. So one of the things that the gentleman said in the video, that if you are around people, if you're unvaccinated and you are around people who are shedding spike protein, that, you know, whether it's through them speaking or through their skin, he claims, then you can pick it up from them, and then you still have the problem that they have as it relates to what the spike protein does to your body. I am trying to verify that with Dr. Malone to see if there's any scientific truth to that before I play that video. I forwarded the video to Dr. Malone, and I said to him, is this scientifically sound? He hasn't responded as yet. And I suspect that he's getting a lot of requests now because, you know, since my show, Dr. Malone has, you know, his profile has blown up. He just recently did a stint on Fox News with Tucker Carlson, talking about the fact that podcast that he was on that got 758,000 views, I think, all, you know, it's scientists, was taken down by YouTube because it violated community standards. So apparently community standards nowadays means if you tell the truth as it relates to this coronavirus pandemic, that's violating community standards, because there was nothing that they said in that video that was not scientifically correct, and yet it was taken down. So he was just recently this week, I think, featured on Fox News. And then I saw some interviews with him being done with news agencies around the world. So I suspect Dr. Malone is quite busy right now. And I'm hoping that he sees my message in short order and lets me know whether or not that is, in fact, scientifically sound. Because if that is scientifically sound, we got ourselves a problem. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Thanks for having me, Michelle. I hope you're doing all right.
I'm great, thank you.
By the way, before I get started, day before yesterday, your closing remarks after your show where you had the videos and explained, you covered a lot of material. Your closing remarks of that show, that was very powerful, Michelle. I gotta give it to you.
I don't remember what I said.
Boy, listen to me. I cropped the end of that show, the last 10 minutes of that show, and I've shared that with quite a few people on WhatsApp. I've probably shared on Facebook as well. That was very, very powerful. Now, getting back on topic, we just talked about that actually last time when Seattle was on your show. I'm not Seattle, I forget the name of the gentleman, the accountant. And you were just mentioning about how it's creating a rift, the vaccinated versus the unvaccinated, and the perks that are being given people who are taking this vaccine. It's causing division. Now, my question, my thing is, I'm wondering the correct figure, because I mean, to be honest, with our Prime Minister, I don't believe a word that he says. To be honest, he's proven over and over that he's no fan of the truth. So when it comes around to the stats as regards the people who have gotten vaccinated, that's not really like to figure out, first of all. From the emails can observe that most of the healthcare workers are not taking this vaccine. It causes you to scratch your chin, causes the eyebrow to go up, because the doctors should be leading the endeavor to get vaccinated. You know, they're not taking it, then Houston, we have a problem. So he's, I think, using underhanded measures, mind games, to try and get people to live in some form of normalcy. The very fact that, for example, Obama was giving cash incentives to their employees made it seem a little interesting, because never before has anybody given you something. Governments, big business, big pharma, they've never given you anything that's going to extend your life. There has to be some catch. You know, never before. You can't even get vitamins for free, or even at low cost. All right, so therefore, you're trying to force something on me that's going to extend my life. Come on, man.
Like you ever demonstrated that interest before. I get your point.
You understand? All of a sudden, out of the clear blue sky, you care? Wow. Isn't that something? It's amazing, isn't it? The reason why, I'll leave with this thought. The reason why it's so difficult for so many people to think objectively is because we've placed too much trust in the media. My favorite line is called television programming for a reason. And when you see something repetitive, you know, it becomes ingrained in basically in the society. You take it as a last truth, you know. And a lot of people are being led astray with this whole campaign, and I just want everybody to recognize and understand your reality. Okay? These people do not care about me and you and your family and your happiness and your lifestyle. We are just numbers. That's all we are. And they have their agenda, and they're pushing it. I want the humans to wisen up, man, because we've been hoodwinked. We've been walking around with our eyes wide shut for too long. And this right here, this is our life. My life is everything. Without it, money means nothing. So I just want to encourage everybody who's listening, man, listen to me. Do not take this poison. Do not take this poison. Do not take this poison. Thanks a lot, Michelle.
Thank you for calling. I like the way Dr. Richard Fleming put it. He said, either you're in the test group or you're in the control group. But this is an experiment. Either you in the test group, meaning you took the vaccine and they tested to see now what's going to happen, or you in the control group where you didn't take the vaccine. But this is an experiment. Now, for those of you who follow my Wellness Wednesday show, you all would know that Dr. Fleming was on the last 2 Wednesdays and will be on again next week Wednesday. And I said it was going to be a 3-part, but it's now looking like a 4-part, because there was some stuff that he covered that you have to hear before we get to the third aspect of his presentation. Because remember now, I said he broke down his presentation into 3 parts: inform, educate, and empower. We covered inform in week 1. In week 2, which was this past Wednesday, we got into educate. But now there's more information that came out in his presentation as far as the education is concerned. And listen, when y'all hear what is revealed on that show on Wednesday coming, my God, this is a serious thing we dealing with, y'all. This is beyond. I don't even think diabolical is a strong enough word for what is really going on. I want to encourage you to set your alarm. I mean, I want you to watch all of my shows, but make sure you don't miss next Wednesday's show. Set your alarm now. Put a reminder in your phone. Do whatever you got to do to not miss that show, because startling information is going to come forward. Startling. We have to realize that, anyway, I can save it for next week, Wednesday. But this is not a game. This is real life. Very, very serious. And like what have been said in the show on Wednesday past, if you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it. History has shown that people have been less than honest. When I say people, the establishment has been less than honest, not just the Tuskegee experiment, but as was shown in the show this past Wednesday, what they did in the United States as it relates to the swine flu vaccine. This has been going on repeatedly. And I don't understand why people don't get that, all of a sudden the establishment is so trustworthy all of a sudden. Like they could never do such a thing. Really? If you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it. You're bound to repeat it. Next week, Wednesday's show is going to be mind-blowing. Don't miss it. For all you do, don't miss that show. Because we're going to be bringing forth some serious information. So somebody's calling us on the text line. Whoever you are, please hang up and call us back on 828-3543, not 2543. 2543 is the text line. Okay? You're calling the wrong number. 828-3543 is the number to call if you want to hear your voice heard. Have your voice heard on the radio. 828-3543 is the call line. So please call us back on that number. 828-2543 is the text line. Okay? 2543 is the text line. Let me just read one more comment to see if that person will call back on the correct line. Tracy says, I second the sentiments of the caller. Accepted scientific research has verified that we have a 99% natural ability to recover from the virus and be asymptomatic, but yet the vaccine only has a 99% or less efficacy. This is just becoming lunacy. And in case y'all are wondering what she's talking about, because you would have heard them say that these vaccines are 95% effective, etc. If you missed Wednesday's show of this week, go watch it again, because Dr. Fleming broke down what that really means when you look at not just the stats from those who have been vaccinated, but the stats from those who were not vaccinated, and compare the two. The absolute risk changes. That figure is not realistic when you look at the absolute risk. So in case you don't understand what I mean, and you missed Wednesday's show, go and watch that show. Very, very powerful information coming forward. And again, unfortunately, we have to do this from a grassroots level because the authorities aren't giving you the honest truth. They're not. All they're doing is pushing this thing down your throat, telling you, go take the vaccine, go take the vaccine. But they ain't giving you no information. And I just don't know when it became cool to censor. When was censorship a good thing? Ever. That tells you that something is up. So anyway, if you didn't see the show on Wednesday, go and watch it. And for God's sake, don't miss this coming Wednesday's show. Do not miss that show. Your mind's going to be blown. Okay, I'm going to read one more comment and then we're going to take a break. So Jamila, who sent me a Facebook message, tell me how to pronounce her name. Thank you, Jamila. Says, okay, Bahamas, they say we want to go back to normal. Normal for one is not normal for all. If before the pandemic you were broke, no job, living with the light off, or using an outhouse to relieve yourself, who wants to go back to that? When the least of us is well taken care of, then we can have a peaceful and loving country. The sea authorities really don't care about us. Well, that reminds me, Jamila, of when Trump used to say, let's make America great again. And the question was always, great again for who? Because for some Americans, it was never really great. When you look at the history of how they were treated in their own country, make it great again for whom? It's easy to come up with a great slogan like, it's the people's time. Sounds really good. But as the people, we need to be asking questions beyond the slogan. Which people's time? In the case of Trump, make it great again for whom? Because for some people, it ain't never been great. So who are you making it great again for? Who are the people you're talking about when you say it's the people's time? Now, he himself, our prime minister, said, next time is the time for the poor. That's when they can concentrate on the poor. So when you make that kind of statement, it raises the question, well, who you was concentrating on this time? The people. It's the people's time, just not you people. These are the kinds of questions you need to ask. Because anybody can come up with a great slogan, but what does it really mean? Wow. Tracy says their political survival is more important than our lives. My God. What a statement. All right, we're going to take a quick break, y'all. When we come back, we're going to continue with our open line show. This is GPS on Glory 93.9 FM.
Located on Carmichael Road, Divine Designs Hair Boutique is a haven for women and men looking for professional beauty services. Our state-of-the-art and contemporary equipment creates a relaxing ambiance for you to enjoy while we cater to you. Need a hairstylist? We cater to all types and textures of hair for care and styling. We even have a barber on duty. Need a nail tech? Our technicians provide a range of nail services, including the latest trends. Unwind in one of our massage chairs while you get your pedicure. With our reasonable rates, friendly staff, and over 20 years of experience, you will be in great hands. Call us at 823-1669 or 698-1025 to schedule your appointment. Wanna be pampered? Wanna be slayed? Let Divine Designs make your day.
Looking for an extraordinary junior high school with caring, qualified staff and affordable tuition? Then come visit us at Elite School of Excellence, an affiliate of First Step Academy. ABECA-focused and Ministry of Education approved, we foster discipline, integrity, and wisdom while molding our students for success. Call us at 341-8846 or stop by First Step Academy Schools on Fire Trail and Soldy Roads for more information.
At the Shirley Street Plaza, you'll find Le Petit Gourmet, a small cafe that's big on flavor. Handcrafted delights made with love will not only please your palate, but feed your soul. Call us at 394-1251. 8 to 12 minutes is all it takes for a burglar to rob your home or business. Security Systems International provides professional and affordable solutions for both. Call 396-5000 for your customized quote. Gwen's Alterations provides professional services for all your tailoring needs, including face masks to keep you safe and in style. A stitch in time saves 9. So call us today at 393-6227.
Escape from the city life to Bacon Air Beach Resort in Pirateswell, Mayaguana. Relax in one of 16 air-conditioned rooms just steps away from the ocean. Enjoy scrumptious dishes in our waterfront dining room. Sip on a tropical cocktail, or if you must, stay connected with wireless internet. Nestled on one of the most beautiful beaches in the Bahamas, Bacon Air Beach Resort offers a unique vacation experience. For reservations, call 339-3726 or 463-0182.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Youngevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Youngevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Bahamas Orthodontic Center, celebrating 30 years of designing and creating beautiful smiles. And we are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. It's a TGIF open line show today. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. Love to hear from you. Our telephone number to call is 828-3543, 828-3543, 828-3543. And the text line is 828-2543, 828-2543. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes, good morning to you. How are you doing?
Good. We're getting feedback, so I need you to turn down your radio or whatever device you're listening to us on.
This is Milford Locker. And hello.
Hi, Shaggy.
Yeah. First, let me congratulate you on the show yesterday.
Thank you.
I wondered, and I must admit, so I need to apologize that you handled that show beautifully.
Shaggy, what you thought was gonna happen? You think I just started in this game? I've been in this thing for over 35 years, Shaggy.
You were on the highest of level discussion. All right?
Thank you.
That's normally above girls.
Now, Shaggy, now see me, you can fall out right now. Then you make the better statements.
You know, you were top notch.
Thank you.
All right, I'm giving you a backhand compliment.
Yeah, truly backhand, but thank you.
Pleasantly surprised. Okay?
Okay.
But let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
In putting some numbers together,
mm-hmm.
I came across something this morning. It stopped me.
Okay.
I tried to work out what it would cost us to put our fishing thing together.
Mm-hmm.
We need housing, this, that, and the next thing.
Right.
Okay? And just for the ownership of 60,000 fish farm, it will cost about $21 billion or so.
Mm-hmm.
If you allocate $250,000 per unit, each of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But then they need support workers, laborers. So I figure it'll come to at least $100 billion. Probably closer to 110, maybe 120.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at that level, we will be producing about 20 billion pounds of fish. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The market demands that they pay you half of that at the minute you start production. It's called futures.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Which means that the value of that fish would be 200 billion, and they have to pay you half of that so you can carry on production. That's $100 billion in your hands to do the production.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The next 100 billion comes when you deliver the fish, which is quite a substantial amount that will be profit. So tell me something. How can you get the value that you put into to develop it and get it right back? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, that's why you don't realize how good you are. Because when you delve into the numbers, you say, "Holy smoke! What have we been doing?
Mm.
God should beat us.
My
God
God.
should beat Shaggy."
Mm-mm-mm. Wow.
You know,
mm-hmm.
and I'm the one who saw these numbers. It is what it is.
Right.
I mean, you don't have to like it. You can call me whatever you want to call me. But it's high time you get off this name calling foolishness.
Mm.
Because yesterday the show proved that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thought I was off my rocker.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the show, oh no, Shaggy off your rocker, he's talking good sense. All right, he just coming from. Even when I put it on you, I surprised. I know I did.
You did.
And everybody said, "Well, you borrowing too much money." No, we ain't borrowing enough.
Mm. I got it.
All right.
Well,
so,
I do appreciate you coming on yesterday. I really do.
I appreciate. I apologize, and I appreciate the way you handled that show. It was beautiful. Okay?
Thank you.
I don't know anybody else who could have handled it quite like this, like that.
That should teach you to stop underestimating women.
No. That should teach all of us to stop underestimating each other.
Yes.
We got the talents here. We got the production. We have everything going for us, but the belief in us.
This is true.
Okay?
This is true.
That should teach us a good lesson.
Mm-hmm.
You thought it was nonsense until you heard the explanations.
Right.
All right? And believe it or not, I've been toying with that idea from 1967 or 68.
Mm-hmm.
I was 17 when I heard Milton Friedman say, "We got to spin our way out of a recession."
Right. Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't make sense to me because at 17, my little 10 days, all I hear save for rainy day. Save for rainy day. What rainy day? It really didn't catch you anyhow. But anyway, you were beautiful yesterday,
Thank
and
you.
I love it.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to more such things. Let's keep this thing on a high level.
Absolutely.
You're doing a wonderful job of that, and keep it going.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Have a good
Talk
one.
to you later.
All righty.
All right.
Somebody else was trying to call in while he was speaking. Please call back. The number to call is 828-3543. 828-3543 is the number to call. So caller, you can please call back now that the line is open, and we'll be able to take your call at this time. I'm going to give you a moment, and if not, you don't call right back, then we're going to move on to our next topic. So going once, going twice, gone. Okay, so Minister of Labor, Dion Folks, made his contribution to the budget debate in the Senate this week. And Minister Folks is claiming that 8,000 jobs have been created or in the process of being created for Bahamians, as he touted what he believes is a good job that our current administration has been doing in the face of this economic meltdown that we are all experiencing. So let's go to that clip with Minister Dion Folks talking about the job creation.
The Point Hotel, which will be the Point Hotel, which will be opening in 2 weeks, will engage 400 permanent employees, and it will be 98% Bahamian. Goldwyn Development, which is opposite the office of the Prime Minister in Cable Beach, has employed 175 Bahamians. Construction workers. The Sterling Global Group Development at Paradise Island has and will employ 500 Bahamians. If you add up these numbers alone, some 8,000 jobs were created recently.
Okay. I heard Adrian earlier talking about the statement by the Minister of Labor, and Adrian seems to think that the minister was being less than honest. I won't say the man lie, but that's what Adrian say. Adrian say he's not telling the truth. Well, I don't know. I just think that it would be helpful if we had more specific accounting, but it is what it is. If the numbers are correct, I would like to say congratulations on the creation of the 8,000 jobs. Now we got 92,000 to go. Or whatever that figure is of unemployment, because it depends on who you ask. Because when Marlon was here, Marlon said it ain't that high. He said it's not as high as what I estimated it to be. But when we consider that all of the people who are out of work have families that are depending on them, many of them, then we know that this is a major problem for us. It was said that at the height of the pandemic, the unemployment rate was up to 40%, and now that has been significantly reduced. Well, I think it depends on who you talk to on the outside, because a lot of people really feeling it, going through. And I am grateful for the opening up that has taken place as it relates to the economy. A lot of people I know who were really with their back against the wall are now back to work, and are grateful to be able to bring home, money and food and whatever for their families. But there's still so many of our people out there who are still going through, who still don't have work. A lot of them have not been called back to their jobs after being furloughed for 15 months. And now we're hearing that in September, more are going to be furloughed again. So congratulations if it is 8,000, but we need a hell of a lot more to be done to really have something to brag about, because too many people are still hurting. There's still too much uncertainty out there. And when you I often wonder sometimes if our politicians actually go into the communities to see how people are faring, or if they remain in their own little bubble and really don't have a clue as to what their people are facing. I wonder sometimes, because it's rough out there, y'all. When you actually go into the community and see what people are going through, and it's only so much you as an individual can do. You know, you wish you could help everybody who reaches out for help, but you can't. But people going through, people really going through, and I am very concerned that we have yet to hear any kind of economic stimulus plan, from the competent authority. And it just tells you, that their only plan is borrow, borrow, borrow. And I don't see any kind of definitive plan being expressed as to, apart from, as C. Allen would describe it, relying on the old model of tourism, how are we going to get out of this? Truth be told, I think they say that the Delta variant of the coronavirus now is accounting for 10% of cases in the United States. If that thing goes nuts and they shut down again, then what? I really think we have to come up with this plan, y'all. It can't be good enough for us to just pretend that we weren't promised an economic plan and just letting these people slide with not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Tyrone is asking the question, where do they find their numbers from? And this is why I'm saying, Tyrone, that we need a more detailed accounting, not just hundreds and hundreds. And and don't forget now, Dion, Dion is a cool guy. He really is a nice person. But Dion is the same one who wasn't aware when the Chinese were hiring more people than they should have been hiring at the point. And he's the Minister of Labor, and not apparently caught him off guard. So yeah, we need a plan, y'all. We need a plan. And I think we need to stop being so relaxed and laid back when we don't see one coming forward, and make some demands on these people. It's not good enough for y'all to just continue to dance around the mulberry bush and pretend that you didn't say that you were coming with a plan. I mean, who does that? Who does that? Only in the Bahamas. I tell you the truth, only in the Bahamas. The Bahamas must be the best place in the world to be a politician. Because some of the things that I see politicians taken down for around the world, it's a joke compared to what our politicians get away with in this country. And we don't have no kind of problem with it. I mean, in the United States, I think sometimes they go overboard. I mean, you take a picture in college doing something stupid, and 40 years later, 30 years later, they want to fire you for that. It's like, wow. Obviously this person, but it is what it is. If we had the same kind of standards that they had for their politicians, my God, our house would be practically empty, I guess. Only a handful of them will be left in there. But we gotta have some kind of standards, man. You can't just, say you come in with a plan and then almost 2 years later and we still waiting? And nobody saying nothing? I tell you, this is a jokey place, boy. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. That's where we're at in this country right now. Off to see the wizard. Because this can't be a real place. Anyway. One more comment, and then we're going to take our final break of the show. Jamila says, taxi drivers in Freeport are hurting bad. No tourists in town. Freeport is still looking popped down for years now. I am old enough to remember when Freeport was, man, that was the place. The International Bazaar, which now looks like a ghost town, rundown ghost town, that place was popping. And to see what has been allowed to happen, it's despicable, really shameful that they allowed Freeport to become what it is. Because for those of you too young to know, it wasn't always like that. That place was buzzing. And now it is not even a shadow of itself. I was doing a course this past week with Bob Proctor. And one of the things they talked about was he looked at all of these people who accomplished things that nobody else had accomplished before. And people like the Wright brothers who invented the airplane. He showed a picture of the late President Kennedy talking with the person who was responsible, I think, for the space program. And this was at the time when they were trying to get a man to the moon. So he had all these pictures of these people who did something that had never been done before. And he referenced the conversation between Kennedy and the gentleman in the photograph. And at that point, he said Kennedy was asking him, what will it take for us to get a man to the moon and bring them safely back to planet Earth? And the response was the will to do it. So in other words, whatever you will to do, you can do. What does that have to do with what we're talking about? I dare say that there has not been a will to do what is necessary to change the situation in Freeport. There's not been an apparent will to improve our situation as it relates to illegal immigration. There doesn't seem to be a will to try to pull us out of this economic slump we find ourselves in because of coronavirus and COVID and not COVID, Dorian and whatever else. There doesn't seem to be a will to fix the problem. We just seem very happy to continue to kick the can down the road, blame the past set of people, and still not do anything to fix the problem. That's the Bahamas in which we live now. And it is very, very frightening and sad. Oswald, hey Ozzy. Ozzy says, both parties had a hand in the death of Freeport. The original dreamers of the Port Authority are now 6 feet under. The PLP and F&M and any new letters need to stop expecting their offspring to continue the dream. My God. And Christoph says, we don't love ourselves, therefore we can't unify and remove this tyranny. And that is a very sad state of affairs. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue our TGIF Open Line show on this Friday. This is Glory 93.9 FM. Stay with us.
Ocean blue is the best in seafood, hey, hey. Fresh out the water and affordable too, yeah. We got fish, conch, lobster, shrimp, everything you want, Ocean Blue got it. Ocean Blue, friendly and clean, best service you ever seen. Ocean blue is the best in seafood, yeah. Fresh out the water and affordable too, yeah. Ocean Blue Seafood, we are here for you. Ocean Blue Seafood, no one else will do. Ocean Blue Seafood, located on Burnett Road. Contact us at 393-2160.
Glory 93.9 FM, the people's favorite gospel station.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy, with Mailboat's U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun. And by BMP Liquidators. High quality furniture and home goods at very reasonable prices.
And I would like to say a very special thank you to all of our sponsors who make GPS possible. Without you, we could not get it done. We could not get to air. And I want to encourage all of you, my viewers, to please support our sponsors because they are the ones who are keeping the show on the air. Would you believe, if my calculations are correct, and I'm going to double check it, but I believe that Monday will be the 100th episode of GPS on Glory 93.9. 100. That's a significant milestone, and it couldn't happen without the sponsors. So I will have a planned guest for Monday. Wayne Monroe is coming on to talk about the ruling because he was the attorney who argued for it. But I am going to spend a couple of moments in that show saying a special thanks to our sponsors for making the show possible because we could not get to air without them. If you have a business that you would like to advertise on GPS, we would love to have you. So please send me a WhatsApp message to 805-6430, 805-6430. And we will definitely get you included in the family of advertisers. We cannot stay on air without this, guys. This is not a hobby. This station runs because people come to work to do their job, and they need to be paid. And so I want to encourage you to please, if you enjoy GPS, and if you have a business or service that you'd like to advertise, let's get the word out. This is a great way to do it. As you know, we're not only airing on radio, on Glory 93.9 FM, but we're also on TuneIn app, as well as streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. And I have to say that our Facebook videos are watched around the world. All over the world, people are tuned into GPS. So it's a great opportunity for you to advertise your business. Okay, so read one or two comments, and then we're going to go to the final clip of the show. So Claudette says, people are so blinded by nothing, and I must say nothing, because what is going to make them wake up and stop sleeping? If they were doing their research, they wouldn't be running to use themselves as guinea pigs. As for me, I'm not a big fan of pharmaceutical drugs. Years ago, when they weren't pushing vaccines on us, y'all need to wake up, please. Tyrone says, Michelle, you got the best show. Thank you, Tyrone. I appreciate that. And Christoph says, ever. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. Jamila says, we Bahamians must stop turning a blind eye to corruption. From the highest to the lowest, we really should respect ourselves more and live truth. So true. Okay, so the final clip of the day that I pulled in anticipation of this show. And this one features the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Halston Moultrie, who is foreshadowing a grim outlook for democracy if the Prime Minister decides to ring the election bell before the House of Assembly resumes in September. So here again is a report from Eyewitness News to explain why he feels that way.
If the nation's leader calls an early election before the House of Assembly reconvenes on September 22nd, House Speaker and Constituencies Commission Chair Halston Moultrie claims that the country will potentially face a turning point that could lead to a democratic disaster.
Well, I think that would create a constitutional crisis, because the Constitution calls for a report to be prepared and tabled every 5 years.
His comments come as the completion of the highly anticipated Constituencies Commission report is delayed once again.
We had a situation in the House, and there was a delay, and the budget ended up wrapping up on Monday, when we were scheduled to complete the report that afternoon. Because, finalizing those reports take a few hours. And so we reschedule now for Monday coming, because we need just about a full afternoon to complete.
Article 70, paragraph 4 through paragraph 8 of the Constitution outlines that the report, once presented, must lay before the House of Assembly should the Prime Minister reject or seek to modify recommendations for approval by resolution. But according to Attorney General Senator Carl Bethel, the Constitution also states that the Governor-General can at any time dissolve Parliament, and that the Commission does not need to submit its report in order for an election to be called. He added that the Commission could return on September 22nd and submit its report because it has until February 2022 before the 5-year period expires. With House now adjourned, Moultrie expects they will now have the time to complete their report very soon.
We are hoping to have the report completely drafted to go to print in its final form by Wednesday or so of next week.
The Commission aims to achieve voter parity with approximately 5,000 voters per constituency, as it noted that some are too populated. As he closed out his administration's final budget debate of the term, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert on Monday insisted that the next general election is not due until May 2022.
Well, it ain't long now. We'll all find out who's right, Moultrie or the Prime Minister. Is Moultrie on to something? Does he believe that the Prime Minister intends to do something before they come back to the House of Assembly in September? It ain't long now. We can soon know. Okay, let's go to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes, ma'am. Wonderful show as usual. I don't want to disrail you or anything, but you talked the vaccine. My mother died in 2008 at the age of, I think, 86. When I was a kid, every time they would announce vaccine day, she would keep me home from school.
Mm.
The next day I'll come, all my friends are bleeding from their shoulders. And you see a lot of older people they have these blotches on their shoulders.
I have
Some
one
on
too.
2 shoulders. I don't have any, and most of my friends are dead or crippled or something about it. I am healthy as heck, and I don't want any invasion in my body of things I don't even know about. You understand? Because I hear once it goes and you can't get it back out, right? But anyway, you also mentioned, if you don't know your history, you're bound to, and you made some examples of being tested on. The biggest test I would think about is Nazi Germany. You know what they did to the Jews? Yeah. Well, these things happen over and over. You got to keep an eye on them, and they usually pick minorities or people they have issues with. And this, I just sense that they're testing this. And for some reason, I heard somewhere, maybe on Facebook somewhere, that the Bahamas is the best testing ground because of our population and our diversities. Thank you very much. I'll keep listening.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. I saw that report as well. And I think another reason they think we're such a great great ground for these tests is because we're so passive as a people. But in this case, it's not just the Bahamas that's being used as a testing ground for this thing. Either you are in the control group or you're in the test group. But this is a global experiment. And that's not my words. That's the words of Dr. Ian Fleming. If you missed last week, Wednesdays, I've been doing for the past 3-4 weeks now. So the very first show I did was Gerd Vanden Bosch. That was about 3-4 weeks ago. And then I did Dr. Malone, Robert Malone, who was the inventor of the mRNA technology. And then for the past, this week and last week, I did Dr. Richard Fleming. And Dr. Fleming will be back on again next week and the week after that, most likely. With some very, very, very explosive information as it relates to what is really going on with this pandemic. And, I just believe that whether or not you decide to take the vaccine should be a personal decision. You should have absolute sovereignty over your own body. I just think that you need to know what the risks are. And that is my biggest problem, that is not being told. So you're being told, just take this because this is our only way out. And as what have been demonstrated by Dr. Fleming on this Wednesday's show, there are other alternatives that work. And if that is the case, then your whole reasoning for emergency use is now null and void. This thing goes so deep, y'all. This goes so deep. I just want to encourage you, watch my shows on my Wednesday shows for the last 4 weeks, including this week. Watch those shows. Watch next week Wednesday's show and the week after that. So it'll be 6 weeks. And maybe there'll be more to come after that, depending on what information I come across from. And you will notice I'm bringing on scientific experts. So this isn't just a matter of you saying, oh, there goes Michelle again, pushing her opinion and her agenda. No. These are respected scientific experts in their fields. So you don't have to listen to me, but at least hear them. Because they ain't got no horse in the race. Ah, boy. Okay. We are just about out of time. I see Siobhan says, good afternoon, Michelle. You look great, beautiful lady. Can't wait to start my longevity. Listen, y'all. Thanks, Siobhan. I've been getting a lot of people, Michelle, what do you do? I was talking to one of my cousins that I haven't seen in a while. And she said her son, who's an adult, saw me somewhere. I didn't see him, but he saw me somewhere. And she said, he came home and said, Mommy! This is exactly how she said it. Say, Mommy! I just saw Shelly somewhere. Oh my God, she looks so young. Listen, nutrition is the way to go. Okay? We are desperately going to need to ensure that we nutrify our bodies with therapeutic level plant-derived nutrition, because the fallout from this vaccine campaign is going to be catastrophic. Whether they don't want to admit it or not, that ain't my concern. My concern is that you understand what is coming. If you have received the vaccine, I want to highly recommend that you begin a program now to give your body something to fight with. Because the fallout is going to be catastrophic. And those who aren't taking care of their bodies, and I don't know what's going to happen. I just know that my approach when it comes to anything to do with health is give your body the tools it needs, and your body is a very intelligent machine that can fix itself. Now, this whole spike protein floating around everybody's body who took the vaccine, mRNA vaccines, I don't know. But I just figure give your body a fighting chance. Actually, I know for a fact that the powers that be at Longevity are now trying to come up with a protocol that people can follow in anticipation of the fallout that's coming. Doctors, scientists are all saying, get ready for catastrophe. It's coming. My only advice to you, nutrify your body, right? What I will do today, I haven't done it in a while, but I will pin to the top of the Facebook page, once again, the link to the health evaluation where you can go, you can fill that out, we can determine what your needs are, and then we can get you on some therapeutic nutrition. Please, people, start now. Don't wait until they tell you you've come down with some disease to decide to start the fight. Start now. Because if you don't, and I'm not trying to be a prophet of doom, we are in for some very sad days ahead from the fallout of this campaign. And I just want to encourage you to start now, to nutrify your body and give your body something to fight with. In my own experience, when I was going through being poisoned with mold, I thank God for the nutrition I was taking, because as I was told by the practitioners of the clinic that I went to detox, they said I was teetering, but it was the nutrition that I was taking that was helping my body to fight, giving my body something to fight with. I don't know. I often say that, we often say no amount of nutrition can outdo a poor diet, and no amount of nutrition can outdo toxins either. So I think in addition to nutrifying your body, you're going to have to find a way to detox from all of that stuff that's now floating around in your body. I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't know. But the experts are now looking at a way to try to give your body something to fight with, because they realize what's coming. I want to highly encourage you. Take that health evaluation. Let's figure out what we can do now to start to give you a fighting chance. My time's gone, y'all. And again, I apologize if we started so late today. I promise to do better next week. But next week, we're going to have a full lineup of some really exciting shows. We're going to kick the week off with Wayne Monroe talking about the ruling of the appeals court. And I'm working on another guest to come on with him. I ain't going to say who just yet. But if that person comes on, it's going to be dynamic. So, I look forward to seeing you guys next week for our 100th show on Monday. We're going to definitely say thank you to all of you who make the show possible, as well as our sponsors and all of our guests. It's going to be a great show. I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for joining us on GPS. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe. Take care.